You don't need me to tell you that we're living in a time of great uncertainty. This pandemic, the economic contraction, unprecedented deficit spending, civil unrest, wildfires, hurricanes, and now an election looming on the horizon that promises to be the most divisive in our lifetimes. Many people feel overwhelmed by this accumulation of destructive forces. And it's understandable because they are all things that are beyond our control. At one point in David's life, his advisors were telling him to flee like a bird to your mountain. They told him it was time to run for the hills. And they were saying that because they said, look, the wicked are bending their bow, and they've fitted the arrow on the string in order to shoot into the dark at the upright in heart. Apparently, David's court had been infiltrated with traitors, and it felt like his government was on the verge of collapse. His advisors gave David the counsel of despair, saying, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? Psalm 11, verse 3. While there are times when it is appropriate to retreat, this was not one of those times for David. Instead of fleeing like a bird, he steadies himself and reminds the people of God's control over the situation. He says in verse 4, the Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven, and his eyes see, his eyelids test the children of men. While everyone around him was in a panic, David remained calm because he knew that nothing that was going on earth had caught God in heaven off guard. He knew that the Lord was fully aware of the situation, and in fact, he saw how God was using the upheaval as a way of revealing what was in men's hearts. And right now in the world, God is sorting out the hearts of men again. This time of confusion and upheaval are revealing where our confidence lies. If we look to the situation on the ground, we'll be easily moved. But if we look to the Lord, seated on his throne, working all things according to the counsel of his will, we will remain at our stations, faithfully doing what he's called us to do. To the unbelieving, the foundations appear to be destroyed long before they actually are. Now is the time for the righteous to be steady and to exhibit their faith in God. So keep building your life on the rock by hearing and doing what he says. And as the winds and the waves of life beat against us, we'll be able to stand firm.